Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. I talk so much about emotional maturity, and in light of the state, at least here in the United States, what's going on with the looting and the rioting and everything, I just want to say, because I know that I have a very large female audience here, as YouTube does break down all of those stats. So I know that I think we have about 80% female audience here. And a lot of you are mothers, okay? And a lot of you are feeling very passionate and emotional and heated over, that video and, the murder of yet another black man. And I understand. I completely understand. Trust me, it punched me in the gut. And I had to gather myself. It was extremely, I could not watch the whole thing. I've watched chunks of it, but I don't want to revisit it. Honestly, it was horrible to even try to watch. I couldn't imagine standing on the curb there. I mean, God bless those people that were advocating for George, and that horrible monster that sadistically took pleasure in pressing his knee hard into George's neck with his hands in his pocket like he was just moseying down the street on a summer day. And, it's unfortunate that it has taken this video to resurface for it to shock America's culture enough to invoke the domino effect that has now occurred. A lot of people have a lot to say about, the rioting. It started out peaceful and then things getting more heated. There's a lot of reasons for that. People are highly emotional right now, and I understand it. I understand it psychologically, and I understand it on the humanistic side of things. It's one of those situations where, okay, I go talk to someone peacefully and it doesn't work. And it seems like the only way the message is sent or received or even acknowledged is if I take it to this level. It's like, I don't want to have to do that, but it seems like that's the only thing that gets results. Hold on, you guys. Yes, Nene, one of my twins, she's very dramatic. She'd probably say something like, Mia is holding her toy. But it just sounds like someone's hurting her, and it's just not the case. Jada, can you please go downstairs with them? I'm making a video, and I don't know what they're arguing with each other over, but I just need a few moments, and I really didn't want to have to edit. I really didn't want to have to edit. Editing takes so much time and energy. Thank you, sweetie. Please see what's going on. I'm telling you guys, I want to be on the channel more, but my family life and everything else that I have going on is very full on my plate. But I love you guys, and I definitely miss you. So what were we saying? What were we saying? What the heck were we saying? Yeah, I was talking about, how we try different communication styles. Okay, so you're the kind that we can't just see, this is the thing. People will give you a certain kind of energy, and when you give it back to them, it's a problem, right? And that's what I feel like is going on. Like, wait a minute, if we want to actually get technical here, and be politically correct, you sent us that energy first and foremost. We're just returning it back to you. See, that's the thing, but what's good for the geese is not good for the gander. So, I don't feel bad about all of that stuff right now, because I feel like I understand where this is coming from. People need an outlet, and it's like, look, all that kumbaya stuff, it ain't moving you. See, this is the energy, this is the mentality that we're coming up against here, and it's evil and it's extremely dark. So that type of energy is not even acknowledging no kumbaya-ish. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even that's not even on their radar. That's not how you get their attention. But you hit it, where the greed is, the root of things are power, control, money. Oh, you get attention then. Oh, it's costing you now, right? It's costing you. And you want that to stop. So, I made videos in the past where, sometimes people do the right things for the wrong reasons. And I was talking about a narcissist, but, we could look at a bigger picture here on how a narcissistic society, we had to twist arms. But yes, they finally arrested the cop. Yes, they, fired him beforehand. But, obviously it wasn't like what would have happened to a citizen. There's a lot of hesitation, everything, they tried to hold that out. But the louder we said, we're watching, and you're going to have repercussions. You're already having them. They're going to get greater. Yeah, and that energy that cared is about power and control and money don't want to have don't want the consequences to get that much greater, And if they do, there's a reason for that too, because then that will allow them to give the energy back to you. All right. But I don't want to digress from the number one reason why I wanted to make this video, you guys. And I have a million things running through my mind. But, with me having this female audience, I really want to make it, I just want to tell you, and this is my opinion, people may come down in the comments here and share a different one. They may not agree. But let's be mature enough in this space to agree to disagree. I'm intelligent enough to know that everyone's not going to agree with me, and that's fine. But, to my female audience out here, which most of you are probably mothers, okay? And then most of you are probably single mothers, okay? I get a lot of inboxes, so I know who my main audience is that's watching and supporting my channel, and I love you guys for that, all right? Not to digress again. But in this whole situation, and being as though this channel does talk about increasing emotional maturity, I want to give you a bigger picture view here and some things to consider as far as going and being in the front line of this cause. Now, I want to say, number one, you can support a cause without being on the front line. If you follow my channel enough, and even if this is your first video, let me introduce myself and my mentality and my feminine energy and how I promote women to be in their feminine energy. Okay, so to me, the women and the children should not be on the front line. You guys should not be the ones out there going towards the police. Number one, who's going to raise your children if something happens to you? Okay, and number two, that's very masculine. And I know, and particularly to my African American viewers, which I'm pretty sure is a large amount of, we're trained in our community to do it all, to carry it all, to save the day, to rescue, to be in our masculine energy. And I want to just caution you to be careful right now, okay? And to consider where you should be, and assuming that you want to support the energy, assuming that you agree that this was a huge injustice to humanity, not even just the African American race. There are other ways to support a cause than to be physically on the front line, jeopardizing your health and your safety and your life when you have children that you have to raise and that are depending on you, okay? So I feel like, I would highly recommend to reevaluate that if you are a mother and if you are a single mother, okay? going out here and participating in the looting and, you know, the protesting, being on the front line, okay? There are more than enough men that should be able to do this. And, you know, oh, we got to be a team player and da-da-da-da. That is being a team player. Because you can't, that's like, you know, going to war and just throwing everybody out in there. Let's wipe out everybody. You know, let's put everybody in the midst of. That's no, someone has to be watching these babies and these children. Someone has to be doing that. And I feel like the women of the community, the women, you know, we can be supportive in other ways than jeopardizing your health in your life and being this soldier and hopping in your masculine energy. Okay? Let's really think that way through. There are other ways that you can be supportive, that you can send positive energy, that you can help out. Okay? So don't do that. Don't even be nosy about it. Because I've seen someone, you know, on Facebook that's dear to me, actually. I'll put going live. Oh, I'm just being nosy. Honey, if you don't take your behind home, you have no business out there being nosy. You go home. You want to be nosy? Go home and turn on the news. You have children. She has one child. She has a child. Okay? You aren't the one. So you got to know what you're called to do and what you're not called to do. And don't think that is the only way that you can be supportive and helpful. Everyone can play different roles. You got to know your role and stay in your lane. In the lane that a woman should, a delicate queen, should be protected from. Okay? Because there's a lot of vulnerability outside of the community, obviously, with the racism and all of the cop killings, the cop, you know, killing African Americans, and other races, you know, are getting killed as well, of course. But there's a lot of vulnerability inside of the community. Okay, but right now, of course, we're focused on one goal, which is great. When we can unify on one goal, coming into agreement on one thing, and get that one thing taken care of, you know, and then we can be moving to the next, and boom, 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 like a domino effect, and addressing all these other layers, of course. But for right now, I just want to say that please be mindful and be safe for you and your children, and think long-term and short-term. Okay, and understand, like I said, there are all different ways that you can be supportive and contribute. Okay? All right. It's a lot going on, you guys. And if any of you follow me on social media, I've been very vocal there. And I was like, oh, I haven't really said anything on YouTube, but I do want to address it for, you know, all the people that do follow my channel, know where I stand on it. It was horrifying. It was traumatizing for me to see that. Heartbreaking. And that is the type of evil that is on the worst end of the spectrum, type of evil that I talk about and try to educate people about on this channel. There was a display of it right then and there. And, you know, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things. And, you know, yes, I've heard about George's past. But you know what? Regardless to how he led his life and what he did before this, up to this point, that was still wrong what that officer did. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Yeah. This year has been very interesting, you guys. And things that you don't know about me is, you know, I study a lot of things. You know, I always say I'm a life learner, and I do. And I see like all these things that I study, how it's coming together and making sense of what's actually happening in a 3D here, you know, because I have my third eye open. It's very much open. And, you know, when stuff like this happens, I can see like on a metaphysical realm of things, the placements of the planets, because I'm a heavy studier of astrology as well, and how the Saturn and Aquarius and all these things are like mixing together, you guys. The Mercury in Cancer right now, which is heightening people's emotions like crazy. Like it's like it was a perfect mix. All of these elements, it was like a perfect mix for a perfect storm that needs to occur. You know, thank you to everyone that has gotten the attention globally at this point. I seen where people in Iran are holding vigils for George Floyd. His death was not in vain. It wasn't in vain. And I'm a spiritual person. I'm very spiritual, you guys. I did see at the end of this video, which where he was calling for his mother. I believe her spirit came to get him. She came to get her baby, you guys. And I believe that God is merciful, and I believe that George didn't suffer as long as it may have looked to us, you know. And he was chosen. God chose him to be that sacrificial lamb, if you will, for this cause. And it wasn't in vain. God bless him. God bless him in his transition to the other side, you know. God bless him. But for those of us who are still living and that's trying to honor not only his name, but, you know, the bigger picture of things is the police brutality against citizens, being high and mighty and thinking and trying to play God, okay, in the worst way. And the racism and all of that, you know, this is what all of this is for. That event was a catalyst, and I talk all the time about catalyst, a turning point. You know, and what Will Smith said is true. It didn't just get this bad. It's just now we're having these videos. You know, we're in the age of Aquarius where people are recording things left and right. Forget Big Brother is watching you. Everybody's watching, you know, someone's always watching. So that was a blessing, because we can imagine how many times it wasn't recorded, because this officer had a very long rap sheet of doing this. I believe at least 18 times people charged him with police brutality, and he got let off. And there's a lot of people in the powers to be who played a role in allowing this to happen. So make sure you get the facts, and make sure you get educated. Get the facts and get educated, and understand that the media is still the media. Get the facts for yourself. Pray and meditate yourself. And for all, like I said, all my women or female followers out there, especially with children, really, really meditate on how you can support this cause and be in your femininity. Okay? Support this cause and not put your children or make your children vulnerable, or yourself. All right? All right, you guys. I really wanted to make this video, and I hope that it gives someone, if it even gives one person something to think about, I'm glad that it did. I know that I'm a huge emotional support for a lot of people, so I definitely didn't want to not have a presence at this time, because I know how this, you know, I got punched in the gut this week too, and after I seen that video, I could not concentrate. It, like I said, it was traumatic. I feel like all of us could sue for paying, abuse at that point. That was to be able to have to see something like that was traumatizing. Please be safe, everyone. Please be safe. Don't get wrapped up in your emotions right now. I know that's easier said than done. Allow yourself to feel, but lead with your logic. Please be safe. Until next time, you guys, never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. And take care.